Greetings, everyone. Hey, how you doing? It's Matt Sella here. Today is podcast number 3 of my official Matt Sella podcast, and I am joined here with a very, very special friend of mine. I've worked with him in the past. He's hilarious. I call him the Pun King. It's Eva-chan, a.k.a. Ivan Matos. How are you doing today, sir?
Pretty good. I totally forgot about the Eva-chan thing.
Eva-chan! Yeah, I got that from One Piece. That's what he called Ivankov. The Little Shop of not a Little Shop of Horrors. The Tim Curry thing. Remember when Tim Curry dressed up in drag and the Rocky Horror Picture Show? That's what Ivankov was based on.
Little House of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Little House of Rocky.
On the prairie.
Yes. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I frequent this place quite often, but not always. To participate in your chat, in which the world can hear it if they choose.
Yeah, if they so choose. And please, hopefully you do choose to listen in.
Choose to we'll see about me, but definitely choose the other ones first.
That's fair.
The ones that have come before.
So for those who don't know, this is my podcast where I commonly like to talk about things that are going on in movies, particularly animation, video games, that sort of thing. I'm an animator. I like to animate things. And so, for those of you wondering, I actually do have a very special animation coming up real soon. And if you want to check it out, we're recording this on Saturday, April 20th. So it might be out by the time you listen to this. It might not be.
You might be partaking in some event today.
Yeah, you could be. You very well.
Not me though. I have a different vice.
Oh no.
I really like Beard Papa. That's my chosen. I'll get the green tea version.
He's already going off the rails, folks.
I'm sorry. I think I might have messed up Matt's.
That's okay. But to conclude, like I said, if you're looking towards this very special animation I've been working on for several months, I recommend you look towards the Game Grumps. I'm just saying.
I got a screening of it. It's really, I think it's totally worth it.
Dude, the embargo hasn't lifted. What's your problem, man?
That I've seen it? I can't even say I've seen it?
No.
Oh.
It could be very bad, and I don't want people to know that.
Well, I said that they should watch it. I didn't say whether it was good.
I'm just joking with you. It's actually weird.
They could bad watch it if they would.
There have been like some panelists and like reviewers who get early screenings sometimes. Mm-hmm. But because like reception could be so bad, the studio has like no faith in it. The embargo usually says, yes, you can say you've seen it, but you can't say any more than that. There have been really rare cases of it like, yeah, don't tell people you actually seen it yet. Because we'll just say it's test footage. Just don't.
Damage control, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But that's not the case. I'm hoping that people enjoy it. I worked really hard on it to make it as entertaining as possible. And so here's hoping you all like it and you migrate.
I can confirm that you did something.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Be sure to check out my Patreon for like art. I got a few more animations planning out. I want to do like some tiny animations because right now I'm currently learning spine and I know you have some experience in that. It's really hard to kind of like find.
That was a nod. Sorry. Yeah. I just realized you can't see this.
No cameras.
Yeah.
Yet. No cameras yet. I am looking into that.
Oh boy. Oh man. I got to put on my face when I get here.
That's okay. I'm in my robes.
Wait. Yes. You dedefinitely are.
I'm in thy robes. Fetch me my grapes, good sir. Anyway. So, so it's really hard to like find work in Flash and Animate these days, especially in the Bay Area. But while learning spine, I'm moving on to 3D as well. I do want to keep that part of me fresh. In terms of the 2D animation, I'm also going to be learning Harmony soon as well. But I want to do like some tiny like little animations and animate Flash. just to keep things fresh, because as far as I can tell, I'm really enjoying Spine, but it is not really meant for narrative animation.
No,
not in the traditional way.
It's kind of a partner to Unity.
Yeah, it's like game animation.
Yeah, it's mostly game animation or like like animating art. Like you could probably so long as you separate it into proper layers, like a Photoshop painting, you could like animate that pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. And a good way that I could describe it, you probably would have better examples than I would, but if any of you have played like vanillaware games such as like Dragon's Crown, Muramasa Blade, Odin Sphere, those games have the effect of like what's called 2D live, which is mesh deforming images that are kind of set up in a puppet-like rig to give the illusion that it's 3D-ish.
Yeah, essentially, most people have seen kind of like what a wireframe character looks like a polygon mesh. So you essentially can create a mesh out of artwork, so you can tell things to behave a certain way depending on like the perspective. It's really cool.
No, it is really cool. I like the effects on it. But again, it's not really good for like narrative, like cartoons and things like telling a story from A to B. It's probably possible. You could do it, but it just seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
To like have that consistent style. But
right.
Anyway, so that's what's been going on with me. And Ivan here, like I said, is joining us. I'm really excited to have him on because we got quite a few things to talk about here. Delving into our first topic. You ready for this, Ivan?
Yeah.
Yeah, ready? I almost said Eddie, but I'm like, that's not even close to your name.
Are
you ready, Eddie?
Evan. Oh, so Evan. Sorry, I made a connection. Ivan, people call me Evan, starts with the. My cousin's name is Edward.
Edward Scissorhands.
And his brother's name Ian. So
Ian?
Yes, it's pronounced Ian, not Ian. It's I-A-N.
Oh. But spelled the same way.
And his brother's name Eddie. So
that's
good. There. I made a connection to Eddie.
That's your loose connection.
Yes.
Oh, man. That's got to be fun. But actually, before we get into our main topic, that's a fun question I want to ask you. Have you accidentally ever been called something besides your name? Like, for example, I think people once called me Max before or Mark.
Oh.
I guess they just glossed over my name in writing and just like, hey, Max, can you come to the front of the class or whatever? It's like, my name's Matt.
Oh.
How you doing?
So they had your name. Oh, you mean like teachers?
Yeah, teachers, just anyone. Like, has anyone ever done that to you?
For some reason, the first thing that pops in my head, not for my first name, but oh my God. I very briefly tried. I was a really kind of stocky kid growing up. So someone's like, hey, have you considered football? And if you know anything about me, I'm not really like, I'm not, I don't think I have like the energy for a lot of sport, like let alone a contact sport.
You don't have that physical energy.
Yeah, the endurance. The physical quality. So, anyway, and I did a couple of football practices once to try it out, and man, I was such a squishy player. But anyway, the coach called me Mentos, my last name, which is Mattis. Or Matos. It looks like it's spelled Matos, but he kept calling me Mentos.
Mentos?
Ivan Mentos.
Ivan Mentos, the fresh maker.
Yeah. So
put them in your mouth, he'll make you minty fresh.
Yeah. No, he chewed me out. No, I was not cut out for that. I think I did it maybe twice.
But luckily no one like screwed up your name, Ivan.
No, it was Evan or Ivan or Ivan. Oh, that's right.
Ivan.
So a lot of times people, which I think is closer to the original pronunciation.
Yeah, hence
Slavic
the thing
name.
I told you about with One Piece.
Oh, right.
Ivankov.
Yes.
But it's IVN ANKOV.
Yeah. So I know someone whose dad is named Evo, like IVO.
Yeah.
Which, if you're familiar with
Evo.
Sonic lore,
Yeah.
so it's actually Evo Robotnik.
Evo.
But anyway,
He's so evil.
so I have heard Yvonne
Yvonne.
many times. Sorry
Yeah.
about that tangent. I'm going to try and keep that to a minimum.
That's okay. We want to hear your fascinating stories, Eva-chan.
Thanks, bro.
Eva-chan. Daskete.
Wow, that you have the accent down so well.
It's just my nasally voice. But okay.
That is an American trait.
That is. So yeah, the first topic I want to talk about here is actually really interesting. Is Laika's latest film, Missing Link, seems to have bombed at the box office.
So a little disclaimer, everybody. I am just bad at going out to see the movies, but it's movies
so bad.
Like these that make me feel the worst.
You are the worst.
Because I let these die.
You.
I'm a murderer. No, I don't want these to die. I see films like this and I'm like, dang it. Like, these are the reasons why I should go out to see films because, and it's nothing personal, but I do, what I saw of like the trailers and everything, they have the Laika charm and like the texture. I always, for some reason, I'm always reminded a little bit of like Tim Schafer kind of style.
Yeah, the Double Fine look.
The Double Fine, like kind of a little bit angular, like some asymmetry and hard edges sometimes.
Yeah.
On forms. But anyway, what did you think? Well,
to kind of conclude, to set up the premise of why we're talking about this, Missing Link premiered, I think, I don't remember the exact day. I think it was like a week or two ago. And maybe last Monday or something. Opening weekend, it opened number 9 in the box office, only making just below $6 million. It was released in about 3,400 theaters in America, and only made a little less than 6 million, which actually makes it the lowest opening premiere of Laika Studios films.
Oh, really?
And it's interesting too, because I've been checking the Box Office Mojo, and the production budget it does not exist right now. But checking over kind of like Laika's wiki, like just to see like how much it costs to make like all the other films, it's roughly estimated. The previous films that they've made, Coraline, Paranorman, The Box Trolls, and Kubo, The Two Strings, which I love that movie, roughly have a production budget of about $60 million. And so with Missing Link probably being around the same price, I'm gonna guess maybe like $10 million less. Only because they've been kind of in financial struggles for a while. They might have like pulled back a little bit, even though the art in the movie is amazing. So far right now on Box Office Mojo, from the time we're recording, it has only made $10 million worldwide.
No. So if it's anything like the 60, they're not.
And that's not including the marketing budget.
Right.
Because that is a separate thing. And to kind of talk about on this now, what has potentially caused this to bomb? I do have one friend of mine who I talk about films and stuff with occasionally. He did not like this movie at all. He thought it was very boring. He didn't like the character designs, things like that. I'm not going to speak too much on his behalf, but the points he brought up, I could kind of see. And looking at the comment section of something like the Cartoon Brew thing, like people, because the question is like, no one really knows exactly why this bombed. Here's a few ideas of why it could have. And people in the comment section were like, maybe one or two of them said because the character designs were ugly, especially for Missing Link, like his nostrils or something.
Yeah.
Some people thought that was disgusting. Me personally, it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like a stylistic thing to kind of make him look like he has like a gorilla nose.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that doesn't really bother me, but apparently that bothers a fair number of people. I'm not saying it bothered everyone in the country.
Yeah.
The reason why I bring up the marketing is because the first time I saw the trailer for Missing Link, I didn't like the tone of the trailer. And I'll tell you why. All the previous films that they've done have been kind of like this dark, epic theme thing. It had like child-friendly things in there, but it never felt pandering to me. And when I saw the Missing Link trailer, the teaser was okay, but the first trailer, it gave me a tone of a Illumination Studios movie.
So a little.
It felt safe.
Yeah.
It felt a little pandering and silly. And I didn't like that. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly why it failed, but it felt like to me, any promos that I saw, videos, trailers, what have you, of Missing Link, they all kind of gave that vibe. So, and I know you said you haven't seen Missing Link, but I did do a review of that movie myself. And in that review, I said I was actually surprised how much the movie itself does not really reflect what the trailer is at all.
Oh no. So they kind of...
It's better, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I feared.
Because to kind of give you like a brief recap, I really love the cinematography, the way the shots were set up, the color palette, and it's a very talky movie. I think that's what the trailer got wrong. Because the trailer was trying to say, oh, it's a kid's movie. Kids will love it. It's cute characters, charming, all that. No, there was a lot of conversing between adults trying to get things that they want.
That's usually a tactic they use to get people who, like, it's kind of lowering the entry point a little bit. I think some people, they often lure the more like low like you said, the safer stuff. They usually put that in trailers because it tends to get people
who just kind of towards kids.
Yeah, more toward kids, or people just want to think that they're just going to go to kind of turn their brains off and stuff.
And most of that is in the film, but it's usually in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Ish. I mean, there's a couple later on, but for the most part, the film itself is about Missing Link and Lionel Frost, the adventurer, going on this journey to help find Missing Link some brethren or other people like him so he doesn't feel alone.
Yeah.
So it's a quest, world traveler kind of movie, but there are legit dangers and action in this movie. And it's very adult theme oriented. I mean, like if they did a live action of this, it probably would have been PG-13.
Oh, really?
And still would have worked the same exact way. So I think, because the reason why I say the marketing is probably at blame here is because I'm not sure if you heard, but when I went to see it, there was actually a mother and her child who I think was like 7 years old, maybe a little bit younger than that, was in the row in front of me. And about like 15 to 20 minutes in, I kind of noticed the little girl was getting really restless. She was moving around a lot, not really paying attention. And I think she asked her mom if they could leave. And she was like, oh, okay, we'll leave. And they left. I didn't hear them say that, but they never came back.
Yeah.
So, and what's funny too is I saw this with a whole bunch of older people in there too, like seniors. And it's just them. There's no kids with them. And they came out really liking this movie too. So I think this movie is just not really going to gear towards kids on Missing Link's design itself. It's too much of a character story. It's very talkative. I'm not saying it's super deep or anything like that. There are heartfelt moments in it, but it just wasn't marketed correctly.
Yeah, it looks like it backfired. I wonder if they would have got more people, an older crowd on board had they shown more of the like the more sincere or the heart of the film versus like the superficial, like the trying to get people just through appeal, which is also sad because, like you said, you feel like maybe the character design wasn't doing that any service either.
No, and honestly, I think Laika kind of dug themselves in a hole, unfortunately, because their company has been kind of going down in profits, even though they have very talented artists and storytellers telling great movies. I mean, I think I even checked on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think the lowest score film is like 85% or something.
Oh,
or 80. I don't think it went down lower than that. Missing Link has a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. I couldn't find the film score, but I heard it's really high up there.
Man.
Because again, the marketing trailers made it look like an Illumination Studio style kids movie, which it really is not. It's very much like a '90s movie for kids, where it's about the adventure and the spectacular settings and cinematography, just the journey itself. But with how fast paced our society has become with the internet and all that stuff, kids might have trouble retaining all that so slowly. They want more information thrown at them or whatever. I don't know. But if that little girl in the theater was an indicator of that, that might be part of it. I don't know. But if Laika wants to succeed profitably, I'm not sure if that's a word here, they would have to make movies like Illumination Studio safe, while they could probably still be creative. But it's going to be a simple story, a little pandering and all that. But if they don't want to do it, then they shouldn't do it. But at the same time, they got to get a really strong marketing team to help them push. Or help them manage their budget, because they have some impressive rigs.
Yeah. What's a shame is that a studio that plays it safe is using a medium that allows them to be very... 3D compared to stop motion maquettes has to be much more economical, I imagine.
Yeah, and they're pushing the envelope even further than Aardman Studio has.
Right.
So they got like metal thing. They model the facial animation, animate it in Maya, and then they 3D print each frame to put into their stop motion. Right. And really, the only thing that is actually CGI is usually water effects or the background, like really, really far background. Like that's all 3D.
Yeah. So
that's unfortunately, it looks like the projections for Missing Link is that it's not really going to exceed much more than probably $25 million. I can't imagine.
Maybe it'll find hopefully it finds an online kind of following.
Yeah, like digital sales and things like that.
Yeah, because maybe their target audience are the ones who, because like you said, it sounds like it's young adult to adult might appreciate it most, and that's a lot of the people who are kind of like...
And I highly recommend it to anyone who's an artist or an animator or just appreciates visual storytelling, because I was really impressed with many of the shots in the film. Like, it really set up the overall atmosphere of the film itself, like the journey and the world. And shame no one went to go see it, so that's that. Yeah. But here's hoping, Ivan, that you will go see it. Maybe one day.
When? Oh, you mean like in video on streaming or something?
Yeah, sure. If you don't want to go to the theater.
How long does it have left? I don't know.
Oh, well, it came out like a week ago, so it probably has like a couple more weeks.
Okay, I might. The last.
Or maybe I'll go see it with you. It's playing in a theater nearby where I am. We could just go see it, and then you'll be like, "I hate you, Matt. Why'd you make me see this ugly-looking Bigfoot?"
I thought this was gonna be a kids' movie, and
it's too intelligent for me. You didn't say Stephen Fry was in this.
Is he? Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he plays the villain, Mr. Pigott or something.
Oh,
which I think is supposed to be a play on word with bigot.
Oh, well, that's confusing because the lead character has a pig nose. I don't know.
And Stephen Fry has a rockin' beard mustache thingy.
Oh.
Anywho, so that's what's been going on with Missing Link. If you guys have seen the movie, didn't like it, that's totally fair. Like I said, I got like a couple friends who didn't like it. That's fine. I really enjoyed it. Wouldn't say it's my favorite movie of the year so far, but it's definitely one of the strongest animations that I've seen, at least artistically.
And you should definitely feel strongly, like oppose anyone who says otherwise, that you did not see it. Stand by your opinion that you did not see it.
That's a really good opinion.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. That's just your opinion, man.
Yeah, I wish people would respect my, some people say, "Oh, you did see it, Ivan." And I go, "No, I'm standing my ground. I didn't see it." And they could take it or leave it.
What is seeing, really? Is it a perception of our mind, or
it's one of them senses,
or filling the imagination that events occurred where it may have not really happened? Existential, man.
I was gonna say that's an existential accent.
I don't know. I was pulling that out of my butt the whole time. So let's move on to our next topic here, which is actually going to be hosted by my guest here.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, it's Ivan. He has something he wants to tell us, and he kind of gave me a hint of what it was, but I'm not too sure. I'm going to give you the floor, Ivan. What is it that you want to tell us about?
I have to be honest. My heart started. My heart rate went up.
Oh no!
I get a little nervous, but
don't be.
Oh no! He just Matt asked if there was anything to bring up.
Well, that's what I like to do with the guests, like because I can babble about pretty much anything that interests me. But I'd like to get to know you, Ivan. I want to talk with you and say, "Yeah, what's going on in your world? What's something that's happening that you want to shed some light on?"
So, I guess this is something that I kind of a newer genre that for me to get into because of my wife. She kind of this is a kind of opened up kind of an avenue in games that I never really considered much, but like we're actually have been sharing a lot and kind of playing through, which is really fun because it almost feels like a TV show. But like it's kind of the world of like visual novel games, which can have kind of be pretty wide. Like anything from like there are things that are literally kind of just visual novel that just kind of you might make decisions, but mostly it just kind of frames the narrative through dialogue and images of characters, which isn't it's essentially kind of one part of an RPG that we've all kind of like experienced, a lot of like characters talking and then a background. That's one way. But there's a lot of nuance that in different franchises that are really engaging and very unique to I think gaming platforms, like how they have the player interact with the story is really interesting. So anyway, I'll throw out like one of the games I've been playing lately is, and you're a Vita person. You probably heard of Danganronpa.
If I saw it in spelling, I probably would. Yeah.
So if you've ever seen the mascot and one of like the antagonists of the franchise, actually is a two. It's like it's a bear that has one side of it is black and the other is white, and he has a red eye on one side.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah, as people who've been into games for a few years now might have seen this character floating around.
Yeah, because for a while, what you were talking about here, I kept thinking of like Hatoful Boyfriend. That
so yeah, that's
and then I thought about that Game Grumps published one about like dating fathers or something.
Right. So there's one end of visual novels that is the Otome genre, which essentially
is that what that's called?
It's like so that's on the slightly more niche side even of like it's basically a dating like those are like dating simulators.
So yeah, okay, those are dating simulators. Are you also talking about like this is kind of a slang term for it, but like walking simulator type games?
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of like more on the adventure game side. I would say that's kind of like it could be a spin-off of the visual novel. So but there are a lot of games that are that are like I think pretty accessible and I think engaging. One of the franchises is the Ace Attorney franchise. Yeah. So that's actually a good.
That makes sense.
I should have led with that actually.
Well, isn't that more of a mystery game?
So yeah. So I would say it's part visual novel, part adventure game.
Mystery puzzle.
Yeah. So it's you inspect an environment and kind of pixel hunt, which is an old term for adventure game. Yeah. So Ace Attorney is great because it's got half of it's a visual novel in which you try and use the legal system to unravel a crime that's happened, but from chapter to chapter. And there's an A arc usually for the whole game, but Like a lot of them are in beat arcs, and like that I would say is like one of the best example of like a good entry point into the visual novels, because it's got like fun characters, and it has those conventions of like having really economical artwork, like where characters have a few poses and like are in backgrounds, and they get a lot out of it. So it requires some imagination for like kind of emotive aspects of it. But like you said, the crime investigation part is really fun because you find evidence, you talk to people, and then when you're in the court, you can cross-examine and contradict and throw out evidence. And that's actually a little bit of Danganronpa. It's a really wacky game. Like the premise is like you're a character who's going to a school that is basically having I believe like 14 students who are all a master of something. They are the ultimate gambler or the ultimate like athlete, and your character is the ultimate lucky person because you were chosen out of a raffle or like out of a sweepstakes to join. So it's like, oh, well, you're the luckiest person because you won. So that's kind of your player character is kind of, or the main character is kind of that. But anyway, like those are a couple examples I think of super accessible like visual novels. And I know it's a little bit, it's niche, and not a lot of people know exactly. Like you had some questions, or like, what exactly, like, is this a visual novel? Or
yeah, like what warrants it to be that?
Yeah, so I think it's relying a lot on like narrative or a dialogue between characters. But
and weren't Telltale games at one point kind of considered those too?
I would say that those are like adventure. There's like adventure games mixed with like kind of that. It's not as like limited in kind of scope as a visual novel, but I would say it's like kind of the same strain. And I'm starting to get like all about that. Like, yeah, Telltale, rest their soul.
Poor
and one franchise which I played the trilogy of. Wait, is this even a conversation? I don't even know what I'm doing. I haven't got much of your input.
That's because you're like, just telling us things. I was like, okay, I'll listen.
Yeah, this probably isn't how it should go.
That's okay, man. Let the world know what they should know about those damn graphic novels.
So, those graphic novels. Oh man, I've kind of ranted. I think I'm trying too hard.
Well, you said you were playing a trilogy, right? What was that trilogy?
So I had finished over the summer. It's called the Zero Escape series. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No, I don't think I have.
Some people might be familiar with a game. This was before it became a trilogy on DS called 999, which stands for 9 persons, 9 doors, 9. Oh gosh, I forget the other 9.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail this conversation, but as soon as you said that, I thought of the Kim Possible thing where Ron was trying to ask if he could date his daughters, and the German guy was like 9. It's like, oh, you got 9 daughters?
Oh.
9. It's like, yeah, 9. 9 means no.
Oh,
999.
He actually said 9 means no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm glad he didn't just keep saying it.
9. It's like, do you play those graphic novel games? 9. 9.
Oh,
like you played all 9?
It was a trilogy.
You said it was a trilogy. 9. Anyway, sorry.
So it's a trilogy of trilogies. But it was an amazing experience in the sense that it's essentially escape the room game. I know some people have maybe know of that genre or have done the escape.
I've done the escape rooms. It was terrible.
Yeah, so
I'm not saying escape rooms are terrible. It's just like you got to go with the right people.
Yes.
Like if you go with strangers and they don't know you, but they know each other, you kind of feel like a anchor
Right.
or like an obstacle in the way while they're trying to figure shit out. It wasn't a good
It reminds
feeling.
me of group tests at school. I was always the
No.
not the preferred one.
If it's not, I don't mean to derail the conversation, but my 2 cents on the whole like escape room thing is like, if you're gonna go with a group of strangers, I think there should be a mandated rule where you have to do something to kind of like analyze and convey what each personality might bring, what's their strength and whatnot, and you kind of are forced to use those numbers of people. Just so it like doesn't become completely one-sided where you have one person saying like, okay, let me gather the clues. You check there. Ooh, wait, I found something. Everyone come to me. And it's like, it becomes too self-centered or like Anyway, sorry. That's my tangent on that.
No, it's
be more inclusive, people.
That's actually a good segue because like these games have an ensemble of characters that are trying to get out of a situation that they found themselves in. I think a lot of Westerners will immediately be reminded of the Saw franchise, being trapped somewhere against their will by a host who's who hasn't revealed their identity, and there are very high stakes like death. So this trilogy starts off seeming simple like that. A lot of mystery, you don't know why, but there is this amazing. Like it basically turns into a science fiction trilogy. I don't want to give away too much for people who want to get into it, but the first game, it's not 9 people who seem to be stuck in a ship, like a cruise ship.
Yeah, and
they find that they all have watches on their wrists, and it's been revealed like. Told to them by their host, whose name's Zero, that they need to find the number 9 doors somewhere, and they all have bombs on their wrists. And there's these rules that they need to figure out. They can only go through certain doors with certain people. So, like you're saying, there's actually certain personalities that clash, or they need to work with. Even though as the player, it's like you go in each room. You observe the environment, you get items and stuff, and you solve puzzles to get out of rooms. So, so it's like a series of escape the room, but with an arching narrative that it's one of those games where by the end, like my perception of the world changed a little bit, like in theory, like a really interesting metaphysical. That's the word I'm looking for. It really delves into metaphysical philosophy, and I think it's a really cool trilogy.
And what's the name of the trilogy again?
It is now, I believe, called the Zero Escape series.
There you go, folks. Check out the Zero Escape.
And it's on the easiest way to play it is that the first 2 games are packaged, and you can play that on PS4 or Vita. The first 2 games are also playable on DS, 3DS, and Vita. Actually,
is it available on Steam?
Oh, actually, it might be Steam too. So, and then the third game came later because it almost didn't get made. A lot of fans wanted a conclusion to the first 2. And that one's pretty good. I will just say the second one. Oh my God. By the end, it blew my mind.
You better not spoil it for the folks.
No, I'm not going to go. But anyway, visual novels. Interesting stuff. There's lots of flavors. There's some that are just like straight up stories with branching paths. Oh, that's another thing I should say. A lot of these also involve decisions, outcomes, and sometimes you need to. This is what's exclusive. This is what's special about this being a game series is that to get a true ending, it requires like all the paths, and that's something that's harder to do with like TV shows and stuff. But anyway,
it sounds like one of those like choose your adventures, but you got to choose the right choice to get the good ending.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt, for
things like that.
Enduring my topic that I brought up, and I kind of just
No, it's really cool because I mean, like, I don't even think about stuff like that often.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I just finished playing The Witcher 3, and spoiler alert, I got the shitty ending, and I feel shitty about it.
Yeah. So with games like this, it's only a piece of the puzzle. So if you get the shitty ending, it just means
you just paying attention.
Well, it just means you got you. It was the ending you're supposed to get, but maybe you got it at a different time. But you're gonna have to get them all anyway.
That's true.
It's not like can only be one ending and you argue about it.
And it all comes down to the choices you make.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of choices, Sony has made some choices on what's going on with the PS5.
Oh yeah. No, I know. I tried to kind of cram that techno babble into my head.
Well, luckily enough, a lot of YouTubers have already broke down what happened in the article, and we're just going to give some of our impressions on some of the specs that were teased. I'm saying that strongly. It's teased. Sony did, I think a representative did, Kearney, I think.
Cerny? Mark Cerny?
Mark Cerny, yeah. He did an interview, I think, with Wired, the magazine people, whatever, and kind of gave a bit of hints of like what to expect with the PS5. To also confirm, the PS5 is not coming out this year. Probably late next year in 2020. But some of the things that they brought up were really interesting to me. Some of them I couldn't care less about. But let's talk about some of those good stuff here. Like, for example, they will be backwards compatible and have a CD drive.
Yeah.
Unlike the Xbox said.
Oh, wait. Did they really? I guess there's only... They have... Yeah, the Xbox, they need to... They're not... It's not everything is compatible right out of the disc. I think they need to enable it, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know if Sony has confirmed that everything will be enabled with their backwards compatible, but they just said that was backwards. You can play your PS4 games on the PS5.
Yeah, because the PS3 was... being a cell processor, it made... I think that was why we didn't get a lot of... We didn't get any backwards compatibility between the PS3 to PS4.
None. They all had to be like remastered or something.
Which I'm sure Sony isn't too sad about.
No,
they can make money off a remaster.
Although their remasters are much cheaper than Nintendo's remasters.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, speaking of backwards compatibility, they even did some like testing with Insomniac's Spider-Man to check the load time.
Oh, boy.
Whereas on the PlayStation 4 Pro, it took about 15 seconds to fast travel between one point and the other. While as when they did the same build on the test of the PS5 developer's kit, it took 0.8 seconds to fast travel.
Wow.
Now, it has been brought up
a
couple of previous time, though. They do mention that that's a current / last gen game.
Right.
It really all depends on like how much detail and like asset loading and coding goes into like a PS5 gen game.
Mm-hmm.
But if the developers are smart enough to work with the system and find ways to optimize it, not Anthem it, they can make load times really, really quick.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that short, but yeah, I heard it was because I don't know if you're gonna get to this point, but how it's using a solid state drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to kind of like hear the science and the technical stuff that goes into having games load so quickly and process like on the snap to make it more immersive for the players.
Yeah.
And speaking of immersive, aside from other things like graphical cards, things like that, personally, I don't really care about any of that. As long as the system works and it's accessible, easy to use, that's fine by me. They think it will be 4K compatible, but they're also looking into making it possibly 8K compatible, which at that point, I'm starting to ask us, like, how is there any real point to that? Like, how HD can we even see?
Yeah, I know. I don't know if we're the right. So, like, I would love to hear, because if they are making this kind of investment, there's got to be some market for it. So I want to hear from those people of why. Like, one of the things I could guess is probably because of their VR push.
Yeah,
because Which but I guess that's in a headset, not on a TV. So unless of course, sorry. So maybe the 8K is for their next generation VR, because I know resolution is extremely important in VR headsets, and that's where the 4K I think compatibility comes in. So it's got to be.
That's true.
I can't imagine. Like I live, I don't sit too far away from my TV in my living room. Like I think I'd probably be able to appreciate 4K, but I know there's a certain distance that if you're already too close to your TV, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah, like the way my apartment's set up, it's like in a 4K, while it would be nice, it would be near pointless considering how close I am already. So
maybe from I think
like if I was by my bedroom or something like that, then maybe it would make a difference, but being so close, it's like, no. Not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, the VR thing, that's going to be important. The cool thing is, like, if you already have a PlayStation VR, that will be compatible with the PS5.
Yeah, but I'm so curious about, I hope this doesn't fragment their hardware.
It's going to be interesting to see, and it's actually kind of a good thing I didn't get the VR yet, because they will be coming out with a VR headset for the PS5 exclusively, and that's not going to come with a whole bunch of wires and little boxes that you got plugged in.
Yeah, because I hear that even the Move controllers felt a little outdated for the... Yeah, they did the job, but apparently they were not as...
very robust.
Yeah, not as robust as the Vive.
And I love them. They're cool, but...
Oh, no, they're great. I mean, they are, like, essentially a more versatile, like, Wii remote. Like, and I mean that... Sorry. Just for the record, I actually love the Wii. I love the remote. So like when I don't mean that as an insult, but rather like it's like a, not only is it have a good gyroscope, but it has tracking lights, which is, I wish
it's kind of similar to like how they do mocap.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Yeah, it's one big ball,
multiple balls on your body.
Well, I think I have 4.
But kind of going on more with the specs thing, I was checking over the article just now and I couldn't quite find it, but I think they were talking about frame rate a little bit. And whether or not it was brought up or not, I do remember there were some people saying like, oh, they're hoping games can move on to like 120 frames per second, maybe even to like 240 frames per second. And I'm starting to reach a point in my head where I'm like, has it been like scientifically confirmed that we humans can only see about 60 frames per second?
I think I thought the same thing. Because I looked into it recently, and I think it's upwards of like, when asked, the people tested lost track at around 150.
150.
When they couldn't tell a difference in something or things running at a different frame rate after that, and you said what, 200 something? Is that where it's going?
240. That's what they're aiming
so I
for.
think that is officially like almost twice as much as you'd probably be able to see.
Yeah.
I mean,
unless you move your eyeballs closer to your brain, you're not going to see much more than
I just don't know how much you're going to get out of that benchmark. When you like, I don't know. I mean, it's an impressive number, but I don't know if someone's like, oh, thank goodness I won't miss anything anymore.
But that's such an interesting topic because I'm coming from more of the movie fan than a video game fan perspective, where a few years ago, especially during the Hobbit era, they were really some filmmakers were really trying to push the whole, like, let's make movies 60 frames per second. And people watch them and they're like, this looks like a soap opera, and the way the camera moves during action scenes make me sick. It's too smooth. And people are like, I don't like movies at 60 frames per second. And I kind of agree. I'm like, doesn't look real.
Yeah,
and I always found that to be like a bizarre, like, argument where people are like, oh no, the world moves in 60 frames per second. And I'd be like, yeah, I'll give you that. But there's also motion blur. Like, you're looking at my hand right now. I'm waving in front of Ivan.
Yeah. My
hand is not like smoothly sliding back and forth in perfect like contrast. It's blurring.
Yeah.
And so 30 frames per second movies, 24 frames, what have you, they have the blur to kind of like simulate that in real life. But when you see things like in 60 frames per second, and I guess more particularly video games, it's super smooth. There's barely any blur, unless some games put them in.
Yeah, some games I think add blur to have a cinematic quality.
But the reason why I personally don't like that is because even if the game is in 60 frames per second and they add blur to some actions, not everything has that blur. So it's kind of like a mix between like super smooth things that should have blurs and some actions that do have blurs. Like, I think the best example I could give was like Devil May Cry or DMC remaster or something on the PS4 that was on 60 frames per second. And I kind of noticed how floaty Dante looked when I moved around a lot and it just didn't look right to me. But I know because in video games, that's what people want. And I think that originally stemmed in fighter games because people are very particular about frame rate input lags and all that stuff. And maybe shooters too. But I'm not really into either of those things. I'm more into like action games and what have you. And frame rate was never really an issue for me because, I don't know, maybe that's just how my eyes work. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on that? I know that's not really brought up in the article too much, but like, if they're gonna raise the frame rate, it's like, how necessary do you really see that?
Man, I wish I kind of refreshed myself on refresh rate. That's also because a little known fact is that, man, and I'm sure any of the PC listeners know how important this is, but like if you see anything measured in hertz, that's also important to frame rate. I can't remember exactly how. I wish I'd caught up on this, but anyway, for me, I feel like frames per second, having high FPS is most important for competitive play or like player versus player stuff in which, you want to have the first input. You want to be able to read what your opponent is doing immediately. So if half the frames are not there, you might not be able to react fast enough. So I definitely understand the standard there. But typically, it's not much of a deal breaker for me. I remember Order 1886.
Yeah.
Got so much flack for like being at 30 for some reason. I mean, it looked beautiful, but I remember like people making a deal out of it being 30 FPS, and like I think there's quite a bit of games that are at 30, but people don't realize are at 30.
Yeah. Or they just appear that way. Like, because like I said, like even DMC on the PS3, I think was at 30 as well. I think only on PC was it able to be clocked up to 60.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's like I personally, I'll be honest with you, I don't like it when action games are at 60 because it looks more fake to me. It's too floaty. It's too clean. It doesn't feel real and gritty. But that's just my preference. Like, I could understand that in fighter games, maybe shooters, but honestly, I think people are a little full of themselves saying like how important it is. Maybe you really notice. I don't know.
You're more about the resolution, right?
I'm more about the resolution and less glitching.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, unless I can laugh at the glitches and it's not the whole game.
And yeah, like I said, as long as the input is properly responsive and accessibility is there, you can choose your options. I think it'll be fine. But like for the most, because it's kind of like 3D. When I used to see movies in 3D in theaters, I used to always go for that because I was like, yeah, I'll follow the trend. But after I watch a movie in 3D, like after 15 to 20 minutes, I no longer notice it's 3D anymore. Like, that happens to me too when I watch games in 60 frames per second. It's like, oh yeah, I see how smooth it is. But after like 15 minutes, oh, it looks 30 to me now. Even though I know it's 60. I've grown accustomed to it. It's
right. Because our brain knows how to fill in like depth pretty easily. It doesn't take much for us to kind of infer depth in a flat image much. And like, yeah, 3D is novel at first, but I have the same experience when I watch films. I I totally forget it's in 3D unless they do the really gimmicky
Where
stuff.
things are thrown in your face,
which it's kind of tacky.
Or you have like that fall effect. Like whether the background's like zooming away from you and you're like moving towards the ground.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Holy shit.
But yeah,
although I will still stand though, Madagascar 3 in 3D is actually pretty amazing.
Oh, okay.
Like that's one of the very few 3D.
What do they do?
It's the circus scene.
Oh,
like near the end, and the way they set up everything, like
mm-hmm.
it probably also helps that the background is black and they had like neon lights for like the strings and the costumes and the effects.
Yeah.
So when it was all in 3D, it's like it really pops.
Okay.
And it looks that's my recommendation.
I haven't heard any recommendations for.
Well, very few. Some people say like
3.
James Cameron's Avatar, Hugo, the Martin Scorsese film, things like that. But many films, no, you don't need to see it in 3D. There's no point. But I mean, yeah. However, the specs are going to be for the PS5. I'm probably going to jump on board with it all the time. I am a Sony fanboy. I love almost everything they do. Almost.
Do you have a Pro?
I do not have a Pro because I don't have a 4K TV.
Right.
So there was no point.
That's right. You were just saying.
But when the PS5 comes around, I'm definitely going to get my hands on it, glitches and all.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to have some good titles coming up. Like, I mean, they already have. They're probably going to next gen versions of stuff like Last of Us 2 or Death Stranding or Final Fantasy 7. Like, I'm sure a lot of things that are announced now might probably have a PS5 version, or just be moved over to the PS5.
Yeah, because like they said with the PS5, you can play PS4 games on there.
Yeah. So there's already stuff to look forward to, and then the PS4 can be shelved. It sounds like it'll be replaced.
It will join my fat boy or fat girl PS3.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Thing. I tried to repair it a couple times and it keeps dying.
A thick console.
It's very thick.
Theacal.
But yeah, moving on to our next topic here, because we do have to continue with this, is Super Smash Bros. Recently came out with their 3.0 patch and finally releasing the first DLC character, official DLC character, not including the Piranha Plant, Joker from Persona 5. And it comes with other updates, including a Stagia Makar.
Wait. I know this one. Oh, you're saying stage maker, right? Yeah, Stagia.
Yes, Stagia Makar.
Yeah.
No, stage maker. And we got Joker on the line. So, we just wanted to give our quick impressions, or at least I want to. I'm not going to force Ivan to do anything.
Keep
talking, Ivan. I need you to talk.
I've talked enough.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I got the character pass a while ago, and I remember when they first announced Joker, all my anime friends, which most of my friends are anime fans. For those who know me, I am not. And I never played Persona 5, but as soon as I saw the trailer for Joker coming out, I was like, okay, I guess. And yeah. I was underwhelmed. I was like, I don't know who this is, nor do I care. Whatever. I got a couple friends who are excited to play as him. He's part of the pass. Whatever. I'll get him. I played him a little bit a couple of nights ago when it first came out. And personally, and no offense to our fans of Joker, Persona 5, all that stuff, don't be upset for what I'm about to say.
My hands are floating over Matt's neck right now.
But I find him boring.
Fair enough.
Oh, I'm being choked. Ah, shit.
No, yeah, I said fair enough, and then I stuck my fist down his throat.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good opinion, man.
Yeah.
But no, seriously. I mean, he's all right, in my opinion. He kind of reminds me of Sheik, but with a knife and a really shitty pistol.
Yeah, I wish there was less, what do the people say? Ending lag on the pistols. They take a while to disengage.
And it doesn't really give you much recoil on your opponent. Like, it doesn't stagger them too much.
And the range is a little short.
And what's weird is that if you jump in the air, he'll do the Rainmaker thing from Devil May Cry. I'm sure it's something else, I'm sure, but that's where I recognize it from. But also, if you jump in the air while he's doing it and you hold up, he does the Bayonetta thing where he spins around and shoots.
I actually didn't know that.
It's not that reliable, though, because it's like you were saying, that lag, input lag, whatever thing, it takes him years just to change modes with that pistol.
Yeah.
And that pistol already kind of sucks.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, it sucks.
I wonder if it'll do better on free-for-alls.
It probably would.
Because, like, one-on-ones, the people are probably going to
But the thing with him about
the
thing about him with one-on-ones is, like I said, he's like Sheik, but with a knife. And so I don't know if, because of he's like Sheik, I'm not saying he is a Sheik clone. He probably has like, what do you call it? Where it's like, return delay or something. Like when you do an action, how many frames does it take between the action to returning to idle?
Yeah, they usually say end lag.
End lag. Yeah, we'll just go with that. I'm assuming he has very little end lag when it comes to his basic move sets.
Yeah.
Because it certainly feels that way. It takes a while for him to do something, especially his neutral A attack in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But I find myself spamming his forward B a lot, even though I know the poison doesn't do a shitload of damage.
Yeah.
It's got good range, it is fast, and it does a little bit of damage that you could stack onto your melee.
And it's got Switch marketing on it.
Does it? I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Oh.
He snaps.
Snap it. Snap in his Slim Jim.
Oh, man.
I
forgot about those commercials, man.
And his Persona Buddy thing, which every time I see that, I keep thinking I'm Ridley all of a sudden because of the wings. So when I move around, I'm trying to do some moves like, right, I'm not Ridley. Does additional damage, which is all right. You can feel the difference between like your normal form to your anime loser form.
Oh, man.
But overall, though, his basic moveset to me is just, it's not exciting for me. And I'm willing to concede that because I never played any Persona games and looking at it, being like a shoe, super laces about it, it doesn't look like my kind of game. Young adult, high schoolers, whatever, thinking they're cool and skinny, running around beating each other up.
Oh, man.
I'm like, I don't give a poo about your problems, pal.
I was like you too. I saw, before I played Persona game, I'm like, I don't get it. There's these high schoolers. There's some funky music. There's demons.
Sure.
There's, what is this? And then
it just looks anime as F to me.
It
looks like almost.
So what is when you say anime as F, as a negative, what does that mean to you?
It's just full of those tropes to me. Like everyone's in a school uniform. Everyone's like super thin. Like, I mean, for F's sakes, I remember, I forget, I think his regular outfit, not his Joker persona form where he has a mask on.
Yeah.
He even does like that scrawny Japanese guy with glasses pose where he's like pushing it with the center or something.
Yeah.
Like looking down, being all sinistery. And just like all the characters, the art style and all that, it's just like, it's shit I've seen multiple times through marketing and some animes I've seen long ago. And it's just like, well, I mean, I'm a effing old man, guys. I'm really old right now, and I don't have time for coming of age stories. Well, I prefer stories about average Joes or Janes, whatever, living in society, and something crazy happens, and it's up to them to save the world and not have to worry about getting the girl or boy or making daddy proud of them or something. I don't know.
That's exactly what these games are about. It's actually about they're often about the human condition.
I'm sure. No. Again, I will concede. I don't know anything about the plot.
Yeah.
I'm saying superficially doesn't look like my thing. I'm sure there's some good shit in there.
Yeah.
But my life is short. I don't have time for that.
No, I mean, there's a lot of games that I have never, like so many of you have played, or movies I've watched that I have not gone to. And I don't know if I ever will, but I'm glad that they're being played. and that I can hear people talk about them, because then I don't feel like you help me not miss out.
Yeah, right,
when I hear about that, because there's so many games and there's not enough time, especially when you're an adult.
Yeah. You gotta make the money so you can play games, but you're too busy making the money to
Sorry,
play.
I tried to. Sorry, I pushed back just a little bit, but no, you can. I think he is a little bit. He feels like a mixture of different characters, so that's why he might not be like super exciting, gameplay wise. But yeah, I think it definitely adds a flavor that Smash doesn't have yet. Like, they keep adding characters that kind of fill in another gap. I don't think they're all of a sudden there's this like super stylish, like contemporary
anime boy.
Well, but it's kind of like a 60s. It's got the. I wish I knew art. Sorry, hold on. I know some art. I wish I knew the names of like artistic periods. Like, it has this like 60s, 70s jazz art style and vibe to it. Like,
I'm willing to say it's like Cowboy Bebop music.
Well, yeah, so it's got that kind of vibe, and that's actually, when you think about like the ensemble in Smash and like everything, and like, oh well, that hasn't really kind of been filled quite yet. Kind of like how Castlevania, there wasn't a really strong like gothic
Tokyo vibe.
Oh no, I'm talking about like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Persona.
Oh yeah, I guess there's that modern Tokyo vibe. I think as far as like modern Splatoon kind of had a little bit of that. Yeah. But
I even thought that too. Like, Splatoon is very similar to the Persona 5 stage a little bit, but it's more like, I want to say colorful and sci-fi.
Yeah. So that stage
and stylized
is definitely, it takes place in a alternate universe, which is why it's so bonkers looking. But yeah, I like, they did the Smash Bros. If there's one thing they do pretty well, is that they definitely show love for whatever new character they're bringing on.
Yeah.
Like with Castlevania, all that music and the environment and Dracula in his castle, like it was done so lovingly. So I'm glad that they went the extra mile, and I hope they keep doing that for whatever like new characters are coming up. And I know I think I've talked to you on another podcast about who we hope to see.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Talked about that. But to kind of conclude, at least on my impressions with Joker, is yes, again, I am going to concede the type of demographic that Joker brings in, at least aesthetically, from my perspective. Yeah, that makes sense to me that people would be happy for that, and I think they should be happy for it.
Yeah.
He brings that kind of teenage modern Tokyo vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I think he's a good representation for people of that demographic. I will concede that. It's not for me. Right. And if I do continue analyzing it, I will also say that I think his final Smash is lazy as fuck. Ooh.
Hey, wait, is it lazy or is it because it's been done too
I'll
many
tell you
times?
why I think it's lazy. I will tell you why.
Okay.
Because I've done it a couple times, and while it has an interesting novelty, I notice it's mostly graphic based and image based.
Yeah.
And while it's neat the first time around, I've noticed that if you choose different color skin for your characters, the image will always end with his official art.
Okay.
So if you have like the blue shirt on, or if you have like the schoolboy outfit on, whatever, that final snap at the end where the star blood is coming out of your opponents, because I'm assuming that's supposed to be blood, not stars.
Blood. Yeah.
Which is really weird to me, but whatever.
Yeah.
He always goes back to his black and white and red outfit with the thing on.
Yeah.
Every single time. So it doesn't adapt to the costume palette you choose. And I don't know, that just bothered me because like I look at the pictures, like I think they have some of the 3D models in there first when they jump. Then they have like that stagnant thing where either like the tumor cat thing will say, feel the pain or whatever, or like you'll have that random girl who'd just be like smiling, like, "Yay, we're all gonna die." I was like, obviously people can't see my face when I did that. She has
Are you
that.
talking about Makoto?
I don't know her name, dude.
Okay.
I don't know any of their. I'm just saying. It's like
I'm just trying to imagine who has that face.
Aesthetically, I get it.
Uh-huh.
But there's really not much to it.
So I think,
and although I will say this,
uh-huh,
it is kind of cool where if you play stock match and you use your final smash as Joker on somebody on their final stock and you defeat them, it just stops on that image. Yeah. And the result screen comes up saying like, "Oh, no, you lost," and it'll stay on that image of the final shot of the character bleeding to death. Yeah. I will admit that part is cool. Yeah. Everything else after that, though, it's like it felt a little too simple.
Yeah. So, but you know that's like that's how the like it's like extremely faithful to the.
No, I know.
Okay,
I know. So, I know that.
Yeah, I think what Final Smashes are about now is what would be the most ideal or perfect thing that this character could do, like. Yeah, that they have to do that's from their game.
Yeah, and Sakurai said himself, it's better to make the final smashes more snappy. Right. So more quick so people can get back.
It's funny because it's the exact same pace. Like they didn't change it at all. It's interesting. I guess it was the perfect final smash pace.
I guess so.
But I mean, it does. There are a lot of final smashes that is rapidly attack a character. Yeah, like, until they die.
And then one final smash. The bleeding stars.
Yeah. So I could see like from the outside, you're like, oh, this is so boring. I've seen this many times. But I just couldn't think of anything else better to do.
I mean, if I were to add to it.
The artwork thing is, you're right. Like that would be cool if they could change the
at the very least
the artwork.
At the very least, I think they should have gone more the Shulk route at the beginning. Where instead of seeing like the silhouette of the character and like all these black lines swooshing by, actually show the team members doing their attacks with their persona on the characters a little bit. Kind of like how Shulk does his, where he has his team beat up a character before he delivers a final blow. I just wanted to see more animation. Yeah. And then you could end on that image the whole way it is. I'm fine with that. Yeah. It just feels like going from the hit to it, there was not really much than just images and just maybe like simple colored flashes of effects, but not much else.
Yeah, I guess I feel like they went out of their way to not do that just so that it could look just like the game.
No, I agree. And again, that's just my opinion, folks. I'm sure a lot of you are like, "Oh, F you, Matt."
No,
I swore I did my one F-bomb according to the MPAA.
Did I do mine?
No, you did not.
Fuck.
According to the MPAA, you can say F word once.
Damn, more. We did it twice then.
Oh, well, we're rated R now.
Are we? Are you going to get
no, I don't have enough subscribers to be monetized. Oh. I need like 10,000 or something. I don't fucking know, but whatever. The point is,
yeah.
And one last bit I'll say on that before we have to move on. Although I do want to hear your thoughts on anything on your own, of course, on this. This isn't really a complaint, but maybe this is more of a personal issue. Is I like, but I also hate his victory screen. And I like it because it's unique compared to all the other characters. But I hate it because it reminds me of an anime opening intro, like an anime music video. Because when I see him running with the graphics behind him, I was like, I could just imagine some J-pop song going, and it's just like, I could just imagine a whole bunch of like school boys and girls just like running like all the like, yay, we're friends, we're fighting evil with colors in the background.
Wow, Mickey, you're in this anime too?
But no, I don't actually hate it. It's just, it reminds me of it, therefore it makes me moody.
I see. Oh man, that's also straight from the game. That's the
that's a victory screen, right?
Yeah, it's the results of a battle screen in Persona.
And also when you press A when you're done, Joker goes, hey.
He does?
Or he goes, yeah. Or something. He's
in the game?
Yeah, in the game. Like instead of like the clink or like this game's winner is. You press A, it goes to a result thing, and it's like,
what?
Yeah.
I'm the one who played it. I can't even remember that.
Dude, I'm a loser who psychoanalyzes things I hate.
Did you actually look it up? Or like, is that how you... You like saw the results from the game?
Well, no, I've been playing it.
Oh, he does it in Smash.
Yeah, he does it in Smash.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you meant Persona 5.
No. I have no interest. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm really happy a lot of people seem to be going crazy over him. Actually, before we move on, because we might actually skip one of our topics today, which is just the what you're doing thing.
Oh, okay.
Might skip that because I do want to talk to you about something. But just to conclude on this a little bit, did you have anything you want to add about Joker, what you do like or what you don't like? Which I'm assuming there's nothing you don't like because I'm the asshole.
Oh, no. I mean, there are some moves I always like when moves can be kind of... I mean, they all can't be just as useful as other ones. But yeah, I do wish that the gun, they incentivized to kind of be a little more versatile. But
yeah, I would say that's his biggest crutch in my opinion.
But other than that, and what's interesting, he's actually, I don't know if it's because he's a teenager or something, but he's actually kind of small for
he is
compared, like, even next to like Lucina, who I think is supposed to be not like it's supposed to be a teenager. I know she's no older than 20.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, she's like 19 or 20, I would imagine. He even
looks small next to her, and it's really interesting. Not even height, it's like, like even the physique.
He's scrawny.
But then I'm like, if he's a high schooler, I guess...
He's a high school Japanese pretty boy.
Yeah. Whoa.
And I know a lot of women who love
I thought I heard a roar.
That. Oh, no, that's just the trash outside. They heard my opinions and they wanted to take it away.
Oh, man. I was like, something sounded angry.
Screw that guy.
Yeah.
Hater on Persona 5. How dare he does such horrible opinions.
But, no, I love the attention, like, the, just all the little things. The taunt, they got the voice actors. Mementos, the stage is really cool.
I will concede one thing too. I know I'm conceding a lot here. The side B taunt for Joker, when the little tumor cat goes like, I actually kind of like that voice. Because like the other one, the thing goes like, looking good, Joker, and then the bottom one, I forget what it was. I think it's like, something?
Doesn't it go like?
That's the side one.
Yeah.
I actually like the side one because I imagine a voice actress going like, behind the booth, and I was like,
oh no, I actually know a little bit or like about that voice actress, and she loves that character. Like, she likes that job doing that character's voice. On her channel, she like improvises reactions using the plush of that character.
That's
in character.
She's allowed to do that?
I think so. Oh yeah, Atlas is actually. I think they're pretty good about.
They're very liberal,
letting their voice actors kind of promote their. Because
that's pretty cool. Because I remember a while ago, if you follow Devil Artemis, who makes a lot of those Cell versus 3D animations, I think he actually knows the guy who plays the original voice of Cell for Funimation.
Oh, okay.
But he couldn't work anything out with him as much as the guy wanted to, because Funimation's like, no, you can't. You can't do the Cell voice outside of unlicensed.
Sorry, like how low your voice got.
You can't. You just can't. You just can't. So Atlas letting her do that, or like, then again, I think Charles Martinet might be in a separate category because he used to do things like that too, where he took figures and like, hey, what's going on over there? Well, I don't know what's going on over there. And,
that's right. Yeah,
like, I love it when voice actors get that freedom. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But okay, so. I kind of want to talk about this real quick before we wrap up here. After playing this, and I think I briefly talked to you about this before, probably not through podcast, but in private. And this kind of comes up to a concern of mine about the roster itself. And this might make me sound controversial, and I'm willing to take that. But looking... Oh, what?
I wanted to use my next... I already used my F word.
Yeah, you did.
I was gonna
don't push it.
Before you even say anything, I was gonna say F you. No, I'm kidding.
It's just in a distance. What? What? I said, hey, you.
Spoon you. I mean, fork you.
Fork you in the butt. Oh, no.
What?
That's mean, dude. But no, seriously.
I know.
I know you're scared. But seriously, when I look over the entire roster of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, with the inclusion of Joker, representing a genre slash culture that I really have no interest in. Nothing against, but doesn't really appeal to me. I kind of remember looking over it when Joker was first announced, and I thought to myself, as much as everyone says how big of a video game crossover this game really is, and it really is, I don't think it's as diverse as everyone says it is. Now, before you get triggered on what I mean by that, what the
dude
F do you mean by diversity? Are you triggered?
They have Marcus Phoenix in it. They have Nathan Drake. They have Lara Croft. They have Sub-Zero. They have
talking about Smash Brothers, not PlayStation All Stars.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I started listing Western characters.
Oh, well, you're jumping ahead of me a little bit. What I mean about diversity is that a lot of the characters in Smash are of Japanese company roots in terms of the IP, or they are influenced by it. So, like, I remember having this conversation with Mark, and he says, like, well, what about King K. Rool and Diddy Kong? And I say, well, yes, they were Western developed and created. They were deviated from a Japanese property, hence Donkey Kong. And what I would like to see in the upcoming Smash thing is, like, again, when I say diversity, I just mean Western studio representation. Is it would be kind of cool to see a game character in there that has no ties to the Japanese industry itself, that was totally conceived, that's it.
Yes.
Conceived either in the US, Canada, Latin Americas, or Europe.
I have one, but he's an assist trophy.
And there's a couple. Shovel Knight, that was a whole sad thing. I think we did talk about podcasts on that on an old channel before. But at this point right now, I really wish we would get a Western character in there somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
And at this point right now, I don't even mind if it is Master Chief from Halo. And I'm not a Halo.
I would love that.
I'm not a Halo fan at all. But if he gets in there, I think that's going to do really good things for the industry as a whole down the line. It'll become more inclusive for a lot of people. And while I remember having this conversation before, saying like, well, maybe we don't really have Western studio representation in Smash sometimes not because they have anything against them, but all that financial payments, licensing thing, it's probably easier to license characters within the government of Japan that is conceived there, rather than kind of like importing them and like dealing with like financial IP laws from abroad. Yeah. There's more tape to go through.
So I think I have a theory.
No, go ahead.
Like, one of the things that might also be, I'm not saying they've done everything they can to get any of the characters that they could get, and that there aren't any to get, but it is interesting, like, of the characters that aren't first party, like, what a lot of more modern Western games tend to do more like character create, like original character create, and then there really isn't an iconic. The franchise is iconic, but I feel like there's less and less in the West, like
individual characters.
Making memorable, like franchise characters that are very marketable.
And what's tough about that too is that if you do find them, most of them are exclusive to your rival companies.
Right. So, like, most ones I can think of, like, Sony has them.
Yeah. I mean, like, you got Kratos, you got Aloy.
Yeah. And those are off the table. Like, so of course Sony's doing it. They're a first-party developer. They know the importance of having faces to attach your brand to. And Nintendo's been doing it also. You know, they're the grandfather of that in the gaming world. And then you have developers like Namco that also have, you know, with Pac-Man, which they have in there. They have Mega Man.
Yeah.
But the Western There's just not as many, and then a lot of them are first person, so like you don't even see those characters a lot.
Yeah,
like on screen. It's really interesting, but they're out there. Master Chief's it's a first person game, but he's very recognizable.
Yeah, he's as recognizable as Mario and Kratos.
Yeah, and I would be all for him. Like Mortal Kombat would be a good. I think good fit because of its history.
Yeah, part of me's really hoping that Scorpion gets in there.
I think it's possible.
Obviously, like they did with Joker, you just downplay the blood.
Yeah.
I mean, don't even make it a thing. Just
make it green, like they did on the Super Nintendo.
That'd be funny if that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like all his hits, green comes
just
out of the characters.
Or stars.
Yes. Or flames.
But anyway, that's a theory I have. I think it's there's the Western market is kind of, they don't have flagship franchise characters, third party, that is easy to grab, I think. I mean, that might be it. But like you said, of course they're going to go with it's probably so much like safer thing to do is to reach out to a,
it's more financially viable. And I mean, a third party and indie titles probably would be the better way to go. Because I mean, I'm thinking to myself, I would love Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie, I would love to return because I know Microsoft and Rare have shown interest that they want to.
I think we share one indie character that we're thinking of.
Yes, but let me go over this real quick. It'd also be kind of cool to just put in Spyro or Crash in there, although with Activision going under scrutiny for laundering or something. Activision's going through something right now, so maybe Nintendo doesn't want to get involved with them.
I think Activision is a good bet because, they have that era. They're kind of they have characters from an era that are super iconic.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
And they're very... they're praised right now because I feel like this is the versions we want.
Right. Yeah, it's the Spyro.
I mean, even Crasher's coming out with a remaster of the kart racing game that I love.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
But yeah, it's like you got characters like that. Maybe, again, I don't know. Because I was actually thinking, because I was playing Cuphead recently, I was like, it'd be kind of cool to have like Cuphead or Mugman in there.
Yeah.
But then the question is like, how you do it? And I kind of thought to myself, because, hey, get some Canadian representation in there, why not? But it'd be funny, like, if somehow, and I don't think they would, they'd probably go full 3D, but if they could, it'd be cool if the studio itself were commissioned to hand draw all the Smash poses and animate them like they are in the actual Cuphead game.
Goodness.
And put them in Smash like Game & Watch. But actually like the cel-shaded 1930s style cartoon.
That would be incredible.
That would be amazing.
I mean, because it's such a strong part of its identity, like, and development, is that it was hand drawn, everything. So, and
what's cool about it too is I think I saw behind the scenes, like they animate everything by paper, then they import it into computers and color that way.
Right.
And if they're like using Toon Boom Harmony or something, they could easily create a palette swap for their characters.
Yeah.
So like, and I don't know if that's what they're using to paint the characters, but if they do, technically you can have all the same animation, but have like the different palettes you want.
Yeah.
Assuming, but I'm going to guess that the studio knows how long it takes to do all that.
Would you settle for really good cell shading?
I'd be fine with that.
Okay. Like,
I mean, like I said, like I'm playing Cuphead. I'm like halfway through already. I'm like, I'd be fine if they just put in like 3D versions or cell shaded versions. That would be rad. But yeah, like indie characters, we mentioned our old podcast on a different channel before. Shantae, Shovel Knight would have been cool. Scrooge, if Disney was willing to pay up or something. I don't know. Yeah. But the point is, to conclude on this,
Shantae.
Yeah, I know she's a sticker. Spirit.
Right. Yeah, she is. I remember now.
But there's still a chance that they could make it in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Point is, as much as I like the character roster as it is, I wish there was more representation either from U.S. game industry, North America, South America, or Europe. Because if we can get a little bit more in there, then I think that opens up the doors for more possibilities of more characters and more ideas to better improve Smash. That's just my opinion, man.
No, I would very much like that too. I would like to take, like, even if they have to reach way back, grab a, grab, or like Doom guy, Doom guy. Like, I wouldn't even
that would be hilariously awesome.
I mean, I guess not. I guess Master Chief and Doom guy might have a little bit of a.
Doom guy will be the clone character in the next
I was going to say the Ganondorf to Captain Falcon. But I don't know. Like, just have...
His final smash would be the BFG.
The big
F.
And we used our F's gun. Yeah. No, I agree. I hope there's something... So I hope we have another moment where we're like, what? They can do that?
Although what's kind of funny to me is when they showed the trailer announcement for Joker, the latest one, saying he's coming out soon. I'll admit, I was kind of hoping we'd get a teaser at the end, like a little stinger hinting at like who the next character could be.
Not until E3, I bet.
Well, I mean, isn't Nintendo skipping E3?
Well, I mean, they're going to have their...
Well, I know they'll have their directs around it, but also this kind of ties into, like, I felt like we've been waiting a long time just to get this Joker character to come out. And I remember reports that Sakurai has been really pushing himself to the point where he's, like, has an IV or something.
So I think he's no longer... I don't think he's directing the DLC anymore.
I'm really hoping not, because, like...
I think he moved on.
As much as I'm not really a fan of him in general, I don't like the fact that he's hurting himself to do all this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's healthy, and I understand Japan's culture to, like, work really hard and all that stuff. I don't know all the details of it, but people are, like, throwing that around, saying, like, working long hours and crunch time is a thing in Japan. It's like, mentally, it does not do you good with stress. I mean, just look at BioWare with Anthem and all those reports saying, like, people on crunch trying to get something out just to hit a release date has led to, like, a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, psychological damage that they have to go through therapy and medication, all that stuff. So it's like, I hope that's true that Sakurai is no longer on the game anymore, because I don't want him to do this to himself.
Yeah, I think otherwise he'll just never leave.
Well, personally, I think he should move on and let someone younger and ambitious to run Smash.
Yeah, I mean, all the groundwork is there. Just, I'm sure it's not hard to kind of keep the ship running with...
Because I'm sure he has a couple of guys under him.
The game.
Yeah, a couple of guys working under him that he trusts.
Yeah.
Believes in, wants to give a shot. I really think he should. And with that out of the way now, again, I'm hoping we're going to get more updates of DLC characters soon. Because like I said, I felt like we waited a really long time for just one Joker character. And you could argue Piranha Plant.
Piranha Plant.
Piranha.
Piranha Plant.
Piranha Plant. Was kind of like the middle ground of that. Sure, I can say that. But even still, it's like, it says that the season character pass for the 5 fighter DLCs starts with Joker, and all of them should be out by February of 2020. And with how effing fast this year has gone already, it's already like the 5th month.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like...
almost halfway.
So it's like...
Wait, no, it's the 4th month. April?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the time. Not the... Well, still, I mean, like, we're already like 1/3 through the year already.
Yeah.
So it's like... hopefully, whoever they get on to direct the DLC will efficiently make the team ready to crank out these characters.
Yeah.
And still have the creative freedom to make them unique and all that stuff.
Yeah. And
not work themselves to death where crunch ends up slowing down rather than helping. So.
I hope so too. It's not good. You want to keep your morale going and your health. It's all you have at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ivan, for joining me on this podcast. I'm really happy to have you back on. Back on. Why did I say back on?
It was
first time on, bud.
Oh, I guess this is for your this podcast. It is.
Yes. No.
No. It was really fun to chat. I hope I might have rambled No, I know I rambled, and I apologize. And Matt is
That's okay, man.
He's a good moderator for letting. It's very good at
You're rambling. Shut up.
letting people speak, and then knowing when to move on.
Shut up.
Oh my god! I overstepped my
You
boundaries.
stepped your bounds, dude. I don't appreciate it. Get out of my house.
Oh,
Get out.
I'm taking my pretzels with me. No,
You better, pal.
Oh, it's so
You
good.
love them so good. Share them with your wife.
Yes.
But no, seriously, I want to thank you, Ivan, for joining. Hopefully we'll have you again in the future. And I got a few other guests in mind that I also want to bring on. And maybe we'll make it a party next time. You never know.
Yeah.
And like I said, folks, for those who do follow me, I try to make at least one podcast a month. And this one's a little bit early because I wanted to. Plus, Ivan's here and I said, hey, let's do it. And Ivan, thank you for joining. Is there anything you want to let the world know? Any plugs or whatnot going on in your life? Do it hot one style. This camera, that camera, that camera.
Let the people know what's going on in your life. I think that's what he said.
That's too much information, dude.
No, it was really, it's fun to just, say what's on
Your
my mind.
My mind.
I wish I had something to.
No, that's fine, dude. You don't have.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Maybe one day you will.
Yeah. No, I'll work.
One day you'll say, "Hey, I have a pony I'm trying to sell. Plug it in."
Oh wait, do I have anything I'm trying to sell? Hey, if anyone's looking for a computer that trying to sell for parts in the San Francisco Bay Area,
Yeah, sure.
hit me up at this was just a bit. I'm not gonna actually say.
Yeah, don't.
Thing. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Well, thank you so much for that, Ivan. And for those who obviously should know me, this is Matt Sella. I want to thank you all for listening in. If you enjoy podcasts just like this, I also do movie reviews, animations, and like I said, I have a very special one coming out. And if you listen to it later, a little bit within this week, it probably is already out. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm actually thinking of doing a commentary video on it. Kind of like going through it in real time and like breaking down some of the Easter eggs I put in it.
You're going to do a genius.
What?
Nothing.
That's okay. But no, that's something I'm thinking about doing, but I'm not sure. I'll see how the reception goes. If people want me to like do a Easter egg breakdown, I would love to, because I put like a lot of little things in there to nod to the fans of the source material and all that, as well as things that I like and people that I wanted to pay my respects to, things like that. So, yeah. So, be sure to subscribe, like this podcast, comment in your section, whether if you agree with us, disagree with us, or if you want to say, Matt, I hate you for not liking anime, you baby butt.
Oh,
feel free to do that too.
They're soft.
But give us a like before you do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I like this video.
Well, yeah. Buy your Matt roasting pat. The cost is a thumbs up, and you can.
Yeah, the cost is something. You want to roast me? Give me a thumbs up.
Or then, me. You can roast me too.
No,
You freaking
you weirdo.
Yeah.
You rambling weirdo.
You wide-eyed teenager, kawaii desu apologetic pee dick.
What?
Oh no!
Well,
why did I have to curse like that on the way out?
Dick's not a curse word. You're fine, dude. You're fine. Okay,
Richard.
Yeah, that's good. Good. Yeah. So, aside from all that content, if you want to support me on Patreon, I'd greatly appreciate it. Go to patreon.com/Matt Sella. Consider donating as little as $1. It will really help me keep the podcast going. More discussions, more videos. It will allow me to keep making more content for you guys, and that's what I want to do. More discussions, more friends chatting it up. So, any last words you want to say there, Ivan boy?
I'm just gonna say that I'm like I regret a lot, but being here for Matt was not one of them.
Oh, well, thank you, buddy. And thank you all for tuning in.